Yep, you're seeing this right. I got David Pakman here on the Midas Touch Network. Let's talk about the disastrous attempt now by the Trump regime to cover up the fact that this guy apparently leaked war plans in text messages. No way this guy leaked war plans in text messages. Let's play this clip right here. This is what Pete Hegseth is saying now. Let's play it.
One question.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic? And were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've monitored it very closely from the beginning. And you see, we've been managing 4 years of deferred maintenance under the Trump administration. Our troops, our sailors were getting shot at as targets. Our ships couldn't sail through. And when they did shoot back, it was purely defensively or at shacks in Yemen. President Trump said, no more. We will reestablish deterrence, we will open freedom of navigation, and we will ultimately decimate the Houthis, which is exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
All right, let's get straight to it. Trump's team just got caught leaking war plans over text messages. Yes, you heard that right. Not a server, not an encrypted file, text messages. And instead of owning up to it, they're doing what they always do. Blaming the press, crying fake news, and acting like the real issue is the journalist exposing them. This time, David Pakman and the Midas Touch crew are breaking it down, and it's exactly what you'd expect. Damage control, lies, and a full-blown cover-up. Pete Hegseth, one of Trump's loyal mouthpieces, is out here attacking the journalist instead of explaining why war plans were even being discussed like some casual group chat gossip. This is national security we're talking about, and these people are treating it like a joke. But hey, according to them, it's only a crime when a Democrat does it.
So even though the national security spokesperson for the Trump regime has already confirmed that the text message thread where the national security advisor, the DOD, invited in a journalist, the editor-in-chief from The Atlantic, into these highly classified conversations about war plans, you see there Hegseth doing what we see in the echo machine, what we see with right-wing extremism all the time, lying, attacking the reporters. But do you remember, Dave, we got the receipts as well. Wasn't this Hegseth and Rubio and everybody saying, what about the emails? Here, play this clip.
Everyone knows what top secret means. I've had a top secret clearance. It's big red flashing letters, top secret. You know when you're looking at something that's top secret or dealing with it.
When I'm president of the United States, neither she nor any of these other people are going to be above the law, whether it's her or any of these other folks. People are going to be held accountable if they broke the laws of this country. This president obviously is willing to protect his political cronies. But we're going to hold people accountable.
No, the double standard is incredible. Imagine if it was, I don't know, Donald Trump, what the media would be doing to him right now, eviscerating him. Or imagine if it was a member of the military, which we've seen from General Cartwright and General Petraeus. They still go after these guys for a tiny, tiny fraction of what she willfully did and betrayed her country in doing so, supposedly for convenience. And it turns out foreign services want to know what our Secretary of State thinks. And in this instance, they did whatever they could to break an unsecure server in her basement. It tells you everything you need to know. Who knows what they heard and what they have, and the kind of leverage that gives in negotiations or conversations when you know what our hand is and you can anticipate it or get in front of it, or you know our sources and methods.
I'm not surprised that a military guy like yourself is fired up, because it's people like you who pay the price for this kind of
That's exactly right.
Extraordinary stuff.
It's, of course, Hegseth. Nothing he said was a denial. It's misdirection. It's talking about different things. It's character assassination, and always character assassination of a free press, which they don't respect. It's every principle they've been telling us for the last 10 years that they value: freedom of the press, keeping government out of people's lives, information security, sensible foreign policy, all of this stuff. everything goes out the window. I hope we never hear anything about her emails again. And I don't know how many people should resign or be fired over this, but it's certainly several. And this is just bottom of it. It's rock bottom and humiliating for the United States.
I mean, they're talking about war plans, as I was telling my brothers. Somehow, when we prepare for our podcasts, it's more secure and mature than that. I mean, fist bump emoji, fire emoji, American flag emoji, while they're talking crap also about our European allies. And then they invite into this group thread the reporter from The Atlantic. Like, so this is what we know about Pakman. If this is, though, how they're conducting the highest level of national security business, this instance, they're doing this throughout the day, and who the hell knows what Putin has, what North Korea has, what anybody has at this point. And this is a regime that just can't be trusted. We're hearing, though, that it's possible that this actually may lead to resignations. Mike Waltz, apparently on the hot seat, the national security advisor, one of the people doing the emojis and the fire emojis and things like that. And so the fallout here.
Here's where the hypocrisy slaps you in the face. Remember when they went ballistic over Hillary Clinton's emails? That was all we heard for years. Lock her up. National security threat. Endless investigations. But now, actual war plans are leaked under Trump's people, and suddenly it's crickets. And let's be real, if this had been Biden, Obama, or literally anyone else, the right-wing outrage machine would be on full blast. Fox News would have 24/7 emergency coverage. Tucker Carlson would be screaming about treason, and MAGA world would be demanding arrests. But because it's Trump's inner circle, now it's fake news and a media smear campaign. It's always the same playbook. Deny, distract, attack the press, and act like accountability is a left-wing conspiracy.
Now we move to the cover-up stage, and I don't know, with independent media, with the Pakmans, with the Midas Touch, with the Brian Tyler Cohens, with what we're building, though, I don't know. I think we got to hold them accountable, even if corporate media bent the knee. How are you going to cover this?
100%. And, you know, I think it bears mentioning that for all their opposition to DEI, saying hire people on their merits and qualifications, Ben, Hegseth is there because of a form of DEI where experience and qualifications don't matter. And all that mattered was, are you a doormat, meaning you lay down like a doormat and let Trump walk all over you, loyalist? That's the form of affirmative action, for lack of a better term, that got Hegseth and a bunch of these other people, Tulsi Gabbard, hired. It's a perverted version of DEI that helps incompetent people. And this is what happens when you pick your cabinet by watching Fox News.
DEI didn't earn it.
3 main points. Number one, in order to understand what's happening in 2025, you have to see Trump as a consequence or an end result that really started with opposition to the civil rights movement in the late 50s, early 60s. So number one, there's a brief history lesson about how Trumpism is actually, hopefully, the end of this horribly perverted political establishment that we've seen develop on the American right. Number two, a lot of the problems we haven't solved, other countries have figured out. So don't fall for the Republican talking points of we can't do healthcare this way because we're too big, and we can't do education this way because we're too heterogeneous. Don't fall for that. And then number three, critical thinking and media literacy are abominable in American schools. They're gone from a lot of curricula in the red states, and that's by design. Only if you strip critical thinking and media literacy out of education do you get people who fall for stuff like climate change isn't really happening, trickle-down economics is good for everybody, hiring Pete Hegseth is a good idea. And so I really talk about going back and rebuilding the education system here too.
You see reason for hope, Pakman?
I do. You know, the last week, when you see these crowds, and you guys have been covering it, when you see AOC and Bernie, and you see John Ossoff and our friend Greg Kassar, and you see that the message is a new, clear message. It's these people have nothing to offer you. They are there for themselves only. hopefully it's the sort of economic message that is going to unite rather than divide. I've been critical where the left has been exclusionary and it pushes people away. I'm seeing this become way more inclusive. Maybe it's naive. We'll know in a couple years, but I am very optimistic right now.
And I think it's so important that independent media, we stay united, we stay strong, we keep on building this ecosystem, we lead the way. And I saw even some corporate news starting to cover some Bernie rallies and AOC rallies.
At the end of the day, this isn't about protecting the country, it's about protecting Trump. Every time his people get caught, the goal isn't to explain, it's to cover it up. And let's not pretend this was some one-time mistake. If they're this careless with classified military plans, what else have they been recklessly throwing around? What else does Putin, China, or North Korea have that we don't even know about? This is what happens when you put unqualified, blindly loyal yes men in power. The same people who scream about patriotism are the ones compromising national security to protect their guy. But guess what? This scandal isn't going away. They can scream fake news all they want, but the facts are out, the cover-up is failing, and the fallout is just beginning. Buckle up.